singing one of my favorites.
What's he singing?
Hello, Mikey.
Hello,
He is
Vinnie.
singing What Will Santa Claus Say from 1936.
Oh, a
Mr.
young,
Louis Prima.
a young Louis.
It's the Louis
Well,
Prima Band.
I apologize to our regular viewers for not making the last two shows because I was sick as a dog. Now I'm only sick as a puppy.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you've had the crud, man. Whatever it is, and it's going around. You've had it, pal.
I've had it.
I'm glad you're feeling good enough to do the show.
The whole
I was starting
family
to get
has
low.
got it, except for Kristen, who's too tough.
Well, there's something to be said for that, isn't there?
I'll trade places. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I've been lucky in that I haven't gotten, the crud, and maybe it's just because I have so many other different maladies that the crud that God decides to spare me from the nastiness. But I hope you get better for Christmas, because the one thing that I do know is that it really sucks being sick on Christmas. I don't know what. I mean, I guess it's just because the family is over and this and that, and it's so many things to do and so many people to see and everything for many people.
Right?
But I've been sick on Thanksgiving, and that's no fun.
No, because you
Um,
don't care if there's gravy on the stuffing, or if it's dry, or if it's not even there. You just don't care.
yeah, the last thing you're thinking about is the stuffing, man. And of course, for me, when I get sick, I immediately go to Uber Eats and order every type of soup I possibly can, which I can't think is good for my salt intake, but it flushes you out, it cleans you out, right?
You gotta drink liquids and eat soup, and that's about all there is to it. It was it was surprising how weak I felt. That was the aspect of it that felt new and strange. It wasn't just having the flu, but being weakened by it. So that's not really much fun. I can't recommend it.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not a lot of fun. Well, I'm glad you're well enough to do the show, and we are going to end the show today right at 11:10 because and we may get out of here earlier because,
We may get out of
and then
there
we don't have
earlier than that. Yeah.
nothing I can do
I
for you.
I
Some
do want to
days
thank
that's
I do want to thank the NFL for putting all their weekend games on a channel that no one can get. That's a page from the Pac-12 channel playbook.
well, they see what
Uh,
they like what they saw in the Pac-12, and they said, you know what, we can try to do this too.
we can have a channel that no one can see.
Yeah, it isn't just the Pac that can do that. The Pac-12. Well, it's always still hard for me to say Pac-12, and I guess I won't have to say it
You won't have to
anymore
say
after
that.
both.
No. You can relax on that one. You can call it anything you want after today.
I've always said the Pac-10, and and I just that's the way I knew it. I'm surprised I don't say the Pac-8. Well, yeah, it was an interesting weekend in that. Now, did you see the Cleveland game by any chance?
I'm excited by Cleveland. I'm excited by Cleveland
Yeah.
because here's old Joe Flacco saying, I'm here, and I don't care what you think of me. We're going to beat you somehow. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's I get a charge when I see the old guys come back, especially guys that were rejected by a team that got beat 30-0 yesterday. I'm not going to say who, but we all know who I'm talking about. Um, I enjoy seeing a guy like Joe Flacco make good, man. Make those, use that experience as opposed to that just brute strength, of
I
beating
I
the
like
ball.
the sports is reluctantly paying attention to the Browns because they're happy and winning, but they still can't stop what they're doing with the Cowboys. The Cowboys lose, what was it, 95-3, and the headline is not that the Cowboys lose and get beat terribly. The headline is can Dak Prescott still be MVP if he has a losing season? How many more games can he lose and still qualify as the MVP? And the answer is he can't qualify as the MVP whether he wins or loses. He's not an MVP. He's just a cowboy. They're having a good year, but not every game is a victory. And when they needed to win, they lost miserably. And the question should then not be how excited can we remain about Dak Prescott even when he loses a game? It's a
Well,
pathetic sports coverage problem.
well, you see, the thing is that people believe that, and players do suffer from this. What is the MVP? You know, we have this comment, this discussion every year around MVP time for all the leagues. What is the MVP? Is it the person who is most valuable to their team, which the name of the award would imply, or is it the best player? Because you can make a case that there are quarterbacks like Joe Flacco whose team would be nowhere without them.
Or you can make a case that the best player on the team is a defensive end who never scores a point, doesn't manage the offense, and still has a great effect on the team and on the outcome of the game.
Exactly. Now, would somebody else quarterbacking the Cowboys still have the tools available to him and be able to connect with his receivers, get his ball, check off his defenses and everything like that, and be able to, or would there be somebody else that would take that place, a wide receiver, or it's almost impossible for a defensive player, but I don't know. There's times where defensive players have won. Um,
The great thing
I
about
think
the Cowboys is would another quarterback be able to take them as far as Dak Prescott has? And you would have to think that there are quarterbacks. Looking at the full list of all the possible candidates, yes, there's a lot of quarterbacks that can play as well as Dak Prescott, who don't have the victories that he has this year, who don't have the backup that he's got. It doesn't. By that I mean in terms of his roster. But he's never impressed me as being a consistently winning quarterback that is a champion level competitor.
well, for me is how much better are the 49ers? I mean, and you have a comparison from last year with was it last year or the year before, I guess, with Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Right.
I mean, there's a comparison here. How well did this team do with Garoppolo? I mean, he got him to a Super Bowl, right? I mean, but the level of play that you see from the 49ers right now is scary. Now,
Because they have so many weapons to choose from.
you can make a point, you can point the finger and say, this 49er team did not click until Christian McCaffrey got there.
Or
And
until
then all of
Debo
a
Samuel
sudden,
came back.
yeah, all of a sudden, they hit the gas. So is he the most valuable player on that team, or is the quarterback? Now the quarterback has unbelievable skills for somebody
Yeah,
who was knocked and teams wouldn't touch him.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the greatest story of all. That Mr. Irrelevant is probably going to win the Super Bowl.
It looks like it.
I mean, I don't see now. It'll be interesting to watch the Eagles come into town here tonight and see what happens. But I don't see a team better than the 49ers right now.
Also, the Eagles aren't in that winning mode anymore for whatever reason you want to use as the definition of their downfall or their missteps recently. But can they go on the road and show Seattle what they used to be at the beginning of the season? And if not, why not? I would have to give the Eagles a 3-point advantage in tonight's game. But because of the way they've been playing recently, that's all I'm giving them. And Seattle has an opportunity to win this game if they play responsibly without turnovers.
Well, I am usually I approach these things with an air of confidence. I am not confident about the Seahawks against the Eagles tonight, even though it's home, even though it's a Monday night game, and even though this is this is the do or die game for the Seahawks. If they lose this one, they're out. If they win this one somehow, um, they're in the conversation at 500.
They're not out anyway.
Yeah, they're not out. There's still games to play, and the Eagles, and the Eagles have lost two straight. I don't know what the numbers are on them losing three straight, but I never go by that because there's the hidden vigorish there. There's the home field advantage.
Yeah, and that's a factor in Seattle that cannot be denied.
Right. To me, it comes down to, I guess, who goes out and slings the ball tonight, and it'll be that age-old question: will he be able to penetrate the Eagles' stellar defense and be able to connect with receivers? Will he make good decisions? So,
And can they protect him long enough for him to make those decisions?
well, that's the other thing that we're looking at. Can he, can Gino rise to the occasion of this game and be the quarterback that they paid him the money to be? That's what
Well,
they need out of him tonight,
at
right?
least he's healthy again, right? Healthy as can be expected.
I get, you know what? I guess, um, they haven't really said much about him. I know that he is practicing, but I don't know that I've heard that he's been named the starter or anything. Anything. So we'll have to wait till I guess a little bit later today. I guess they'll look at him one more time and see.
What about the rest of the stars? How about Metcalf? Is he ready to go?
I think everybody. I think everybody is ready to go. I don't think that there's. I think Metcalf's. Well, it'll just be interesting to see if he is. If he is not only physically ready but mentally ready to go. Can they stop him from getting stupid penalties? Can he concentrate on the game? The Eagles allow a lot of passing points. Their defense is a little bit weak on the pass from everything I've read. So it's entirely possible that the Eagles, either might put a rookie up against him, or they go with Slay in that secondary. So it'll be interesting to see. And Slay, I guess, is not going to be. Oh no, he's not going to be. He's not going to be there. So arthroscopic knee surgery for him, and he will not play. Now he would have probably been on Metcalf, so they got a rookie named Kelly Ringo.
Now there.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you something. Do 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 do. Now the one thing about Ringo that we have to be careful of is he's a Tacoma guy. He went to John Hunter's school, Bellarmine Prep, and guys like that come home and want to make an impression. He's probably got 30, 40, 50 of his people in the seats,
Half
and
of
he
them
wants to
priests.
see what?
Half of them are priests
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Bellarmine.
He's got a bunch of good Catholic guys in the seats there, and we'll see what happens. But he'll probably be on Metcalf. Again, if that's where they're going to make their bones, if that's where they're going to attack the Eagles, I think that's probably where they're going to have to attack them. But again, who is going to be doing the attacking? I think they'll probably start Geno Smith
I would.
and see what he can do. Maybe rack up some points early and depend on the defense to keep him in the hole if that's the way it works. I mean, I don't know.
I'll be watching Eli and Peyton on ESPN2, putting together their show where they ignore the game and just talk about football.
Yeah. Well, I go the other way on that, man. If I'm watching the game, I mean, I like what they do. It's funny and everything, and you get some good insight. I go back and forth because I still like the play-by-play.
I
I
know.
still like to hear the guys telling me what's going on.
And why they're showing you the tackle. Why are they
Right.
showing you the tackle? Tell me why.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I'm not as an astute student of football as I am baseball or even basketball. So to me, it's an education when I see a lot of this stuff going on.
Well, here's something for your baseball education. The
Okay.
Giants have made a move in the offseason.
I saw that and I applaud
Young
that.
Young Hoo Lee. Young Hoo Lee, who hit 390 in the Korean League. He's a 6-footer, 200 pounds, 25 years old, and he's our new center fielder. And he's going to be there for a long time. He's a hitter. He's a runner. He's a factor. He's a charming young individual, 25 years old. He's ready to go. He's excited about joining the team. The Giants needed to make a move. They needed a bat. They needed a bat. They needed a fielder, and they got them both in Young Hoo Lee, who at 25 years of age leaves Korea, comes to San Francisco, and takes the center field position that once was Willie Mays, Ken Harrelson, Bobby Bonds, Barry Bonds, all the great center fielders that you can think of on whatever team you love. We have a new one from San Francisco, and this guy's going to be here a while.
Well, they certainly made a splash with that signing. I am always,
$113
let's see what he can
million.
do.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's see what he can do. But they sure paid him a lot of money, so they must feel that he can really do something.
Hit the damn
As
ball. That's
opposed,
what you do.
yeah, as opposed to the Mariners, who are haven't come up with anything, haven't signed anybody, and it looks like they may not be signing anybody. Now, hopefully that'll change, but they dump salary. The Mariners are looking like the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. Give them dollar hot dogs, they'll come to the ballpark. Except at $50 for parking and
Yeah.
$100 to get in, people are going to spend their money other places if they don't put a competitive team on the field. Now, again, who knows? Maybe they'll be competitive. But I don't know. They took three of the best players off of that team, and they haven't made any kind of effort to re-sign them, to sign other people to take their place.
Is there anybody in Mariners? Is there anybody in Mariners management that used to run radio stations? It sounds like a cost-cutting move at a radio station. Let's fire the morning team anybody can be a morning person.
Well,
But fire the
Mikey,
news director.
that happened. Matter of fact, this is the first that happened Friday. I don't know if you read the trades, but my good friend BJ Shea got blown out over at KISW,
No, I
as
didn't hear
well as
that.
Danny Bonaduce and a bunch of other people. CBS had a that or not CBS, but Entercom. Before that, it was CBS had the usual week before Christmas blowout, which is the
You,
one I got caught up in.
good morning, Danny Bonaducci. You just retired.
Well, I hope that BJ will land on his feet somewhere. He's a good guy and a good friend. I mean, I worked with him since San Francisco. We've worked in the same building, 20 years, and he's a good guy. He's a good radio guy. He knows his stuff. He knows how to work audiences. He knows what to do. And I'm hoping that somebody in town here will give him a shot. If not the morning show, I mean, there's at least maybe he'll land up over at Cairo doing something. And
How many did they let go at KISW?
I don't. Well, it was the whole cluster there. Um, I don't know. I know. I saw a number of good buys posted on Facebook. So it seemed to be, yeah, it seemed to be that they let a number of people go. I'm just looking up at it now, or looking it up right now. It's yeah, I haven't seen anything local on it yet.
I remember the the justification for firing people at Christmas was there was so much extra activity going on in the market that the listeners would be distracted by their own needs around Christmas time and not really take it so hard.
Um,
We were going to fire you when you were on vacation, but we forgot.
well, I got fired. I got fired coming off a vacation, and I got fired at Christmas, and then I got fired at right after New Year's. So I've run that whole spectrum of getting fired at the end of the year. I know what that feels like, and the one before Christmas always to me seems the worst.
Yeah.
The one after the vacation you kind of see because you've been off the air for a week or 2 weeks. Don't ever take a 2 week vacation in radio.
They don't
Um,
want you to. They don't want you to even go for 1 week.
yeah, if you take a 2 week vacation in radio, um, you could wind up not having a
On the
job.
market.
Well, I guess they figure if people don't hear you for a week, they won't.
Take it. They won't take it personally. They won't miss you. Who was that guy that we used to listen to in the morning?
Yeah,
Can't think of his name.
yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm just looking to see if they have the Seattle story up on Barrett Sports Media, but they do it. That's more of a sports site. So,
So Young Hoo Lee for $113 million. All I want is stay healthy, hit the damn ball.
well, you got. I mean, let's face it. You got. You got one of the great free agent signings of the
Of the
one of the great
offseason.
free agent signings of the offseason.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like I say, I always,
Someone put
I'm
together
always
a
a little
chart here.
leery. Yeah, I'm always a little
Right,
leery
right.
of players coming from other leagues because they could either be great players or busts.
Right.
Um, Although I did learn a lesson with Ichiro. Everybody said, the whole hit on Ichiro was, well, a little guy like that is never going to be able to make an impact in the major leagues. And lo and behold, I think he made an impact.
Well, it sounds like the morning prognosticators on ESPN who keep saying that Brock Purdy's not a quarterback. He's something. He can't quite define him. They can't explain his success. They don't know why he's so well organized and why he's so prepared and why he's so precise. No one's willing to say what a great quarterback he is. They're just saying what a mystery, what a conundrum. How come the 49ers are winning? It doesn't make sense. They shouldn't win with
What
this guy.
what did they use that wonderful what's the one that they always use? He's
The
a
game
game
manager.
manager. He's a
Yes.
game manager. He's not a quarterback. He's a game manager. Could you explain to me what the difference is between a quarterback and a game manager?
Well, a quarterback wins the game with a running game and a passing game and a execution of the offense. He's the leader of the field, the captain. A game manager apparently knows the plays, but not all of them. Has ability, but not much of it. Relies on his running back. He just hands him the ball and hopes that he takes it someplace so they can have a first down. It's a pathetic description of a quarterback because a quarterback that's just a game manager, he's not going to go very far. He's not going to go as far
Well,
as Joe Flacco, for instance.
it appears to me that this game manager, as some of the people on ESPN want to call him, is going to manage the 49ers right into the Super Bowl. So
Yep.
you can call him game manager. You can call him whatever you want to call him.
Can I call him Ray? You can call me
Sure,
Ray.
call him Ray. You can call him Jay. You can call him anything you want. Just don't call him Hey. Uh, so I
Don't
think
make me
that,
laugh.
yeah, I think that, look, the Dolphins. I mean, right now, if you were to say to me who I think will be in the Super Bowl, I would have to go with the Dolphins and the 49ers.
Now that's happened before. Super Bowl 19 at Stanford Stadium.
Yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Montana
I would have
against Joe Montana against
Dan Marino, right?
Dan Marino. 36-16, I think was the final score.
Yeah,
49ers winning remarkably.
that's just the kind of feeling I get from watching and looking at stuff and just kind of analyzing it. And I'm no, listen, we're just a bunch of yackers. We're not sitting there saying we're Mike Florio here or anything like that. Or John Clayton or I miss Clayton.
I miss John Clayton.
I miss John
I miss his
Clayton.
I miss his promo when he's in his bedroom telling his mom that he's ready.
I just miss the whole. I know, if you're a new fan to the league, you probably don't know John Clayton, but if you were around for a while, he was just he was the best, man.
And he was always on the phone. If you saw John Clayton, you just
Yeah,
went, "Hey, John," but he's on the line. He's talking to a general manager. Where? Cincinnati. Where else? Detroit. What are you doing? I'm calling Pittsburgh. What are you doing, John? I'm calling Miami. He was on the phone consistently, constantly, all day long.
he knew more about the NFL league than anybody that worked in it.
Yep.
He really did, and he's missed dearly, man. I miss his. He used to be on that post game show, the third, what is it, the fifth quarter or whatever. There's a
The
post
third
game show.
rail.
Yeah, the third rail. That's there used to be there used to be a restaurant on the first floor of the Empire State Building, that was called the Brass Rail.
Right.
Longchamp's Brass Rail.
Yeah, it
And
says.
and I think they had a few restaurants around Manhattan, but the one with the Brass Rail, and I always remember when I was a little kid with my mom, driving by on the bus going down Fifth Avenue because my mom used to take the bus into the city all the time. She didn't like the subway. Taking the bus into the city and going down past 34th Street, it said Brass Rail on the corner. You could see the people eating inside at the windows. And I'd say, Ma, that's the subway. That's the Brass Rail that the train runs on instead of the third rail. So I thought for years, I thought that the third rail on the subway was called the Brass Rail. And only recently did I find out. No, after watching the taking of Pelham 123, everybody knew what the third rail was.
You can see it from the subway station when you're looking down into the tracks. It's covered, so you're not supposed to touch it. And if you fell in accidentally, you probably wouldn't hit it unless you made up your mind to do it. But what I don't know is what happens when you actually touch that third rail. But it's not going to be good.
Well, nobody really knows because you generally, I mean, I'm sure there may have been somebody that survived touching the third rail, but everyone I've heard about
Did not.
Did not survive. Did it immediately sent I don't know how many thousands of volts through their body. Because usually when you're touching the third rail, you're touching something else that's metal, the ground, or has metal,
Yeah.
the ground, whatever it is, that grounds you. And the next thing you know, you're canceled. You're out.
You cancel for the rest of the season and next season too.
The rest of the big season.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about that. I mean, I know that the overhead wires are the same deal. I knew a kid. I didn't know him well. I knew his brother much more than him. Who touched that? We used to jump on the top of trains when we were kids. We'd go to we had train tracks that passed in the neighborhood, and we would jump up on the trains and then jump up on the top of the boxcars and walk them. I did it once and said, "That's it for me."
I've done
You
it.
know,
Thank you.
yeah, I've done it. Thank you. I've done it in front of some friends, so thank you. But I guess this kid was falling or felt like he was falling, and he grabbed onto the high tension
Overhead.
wire above the train, and it burnt both of his hands off. So he didn't die, although he may have wished that he did at that point.
Did he never play the piano again?
He never held it well. Yeah, he was just. It was sad, and now I guess people wouldn't really think about it, but back then I think it really stopped some people from doing that. I think if he would have died, people would have forgot about him.
Yeah.
But because he lived and he was around and he was, with his hands burnt off, I mean, people saw him. And I think it stopped a lot of kids from going up on those trains. Again, I'm just speculating. I don't know for sure, but it sure seemed like that to me. That there was less. It became less fashionable to go on those trains and do that. I mean, we still walk the tracks. We always walk the tracks, but even at lunchtime, we go up and have our lunch. We get out of PS 152, which was right next to the train tracks, and for lunch we go up on the train tracks and then come back to school. There was such an attraction for those train tracks when we were kids.
And kids aren't attracted to the danger. They're just attracted to the energy, to the space, to the difference it makes in their lives.
Yeah, it's just
How come New York schools don't have names? They have numbers.
we didn't have that many good people back then to they also have names.
They ran out of Knickerbockers to name stuff after.
Yeah, there wasn't enough good people in the world to name stuff after. So many schools and so little good people. Oh man. Um
So there is poetry to PS 152. It wouldn't
yes,
probably be as
I think it was named. Now it didn't have a name when I was there, but I think they named it after one of the principals that was there after I was there. So I think it was the Gertrude Alline or Allian School after that, because they started naming schools after elementary and intermediate schools after
well-known
teachers
principles.
and principals. Gwendolyn Alline School, PS 152, 3352 62nd Street in Queens, New York.
It's funny. Now, I went to Adeline E. Kent School. I wonder if they knew each other, those two ladies.
I wonder. Gwendolyn and Alline School, and it was an interesting school. I went there after I got kicked out of Catholic school.
Who kicked you
And
out? A nun or a priest?
a nun. It was the first of. It was the first major screw up in my life. But to be honest with you, it wasn't, because if I'd have stayed in Catholic school, I wouldn't have survived. I was just too much of a rebel when I was a kid. I was too uncontrollable. I just couldn't. I couldn't sit still for the nuns. The nuns weren't going to train me, and certainly the lay teachers weren't. Um, Hell, my parents had enough problems training me when I was a kid. I was pretty wild, and
Some of the nuns are rather wild too, for that matter.
oh yeah, no, listen, I'm telling you, man, I saw things and people get hit, stuff like that, that affected me forever. It affects me to this day. I got called names by nuns that affect me to this day. Um, and are a part of probably why I am the way I am. When you have a handicap, or when you have something wrong with you, you expect the kids to be mean.
But the nuns would never let up.
But the nuns, you didn't expect the nuns. You expected that the nuns would give you some kind of refuge, or give you some kind of, hey, you're going to be all right. And instead, I got one of my names from one of the nuns. They used to call me Frankenstein feet, because I had club feet when I was a kid. So anyway, that's Catholic school. Thank God the gay
Praise
people can go up and get a blessing now, huh?
praise the Lord. Yeah.
That the
A
Pope
blessing.
has,
You can't get married, but you can be blessed.
right? Gay couples can get a blessing. I'm sure that they're jumping up and down over that.
What can you do with a blessing? Once you get one, can you turn it in for cash?
No, you have to wait to. Well, excuse me. Here's the problem: they give out a lot of blessings. So once you get your blessing, you have to go to the department and wait for God to act on the blessing. Now he's got all of these blessings all over the world
From the Middle Ages onward, he's got so
that
many to deal with.
he's got to deal with. He's got 20 million people a day going, Hail Mary, full of grace. I hope I get a parking space. Well, what the hell? How do you deal with that He needs an automotive division alone.
The auto, yeah, there are automotive wishes and blessings.
Yeah, as tell us that little prayer I just told you. Hail Mary, full of grace. Hope I get a parking space. Which many times has worked. So he's got to fulfill that thing. And with the advent of the automobile in the 20th century, that I don't think anybody would chant that for their horse and buggy. I can't imagine a cowboy, riding into town. Hail Mary, full of grace. I hope I get a hitching post. Wouldn't have worked. Then you got the people that are praying for peace, and we see how that's working out.
Oh, beautifully. There's peace everywhere. There's a piece of
So,
this and a piece of that.
yeah. So if you're praying for peace, and you got a blessing, the best the best you're gonna do is maybe have peace at your house. But world peace, forget about it.
Forget about it.
Everybody, everybody's fighting with everybody, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to stop anytime soon.
Well, everybody is so justified in their outrage and their hate and the reason for their violence, the reason for their hatred, the reason for their position. They've got it stocked up. They had plenty before this, but now they got October 7th to talk about. So we're never going to hear the end of it. Everything is justified.
Well,
I know we haven't heard anything about the rest of the hostages, and I don't see how you could. We probably killed half of them already ourselves with the
we know
bombing
that
and the shooting.
we know that they killed 3 over the week, on Friday, I guess it was.
Right.
But it just doesn't seem like they're in a mood, the Israelis, to. And listen, uh, to be fair about it, if somebody came over the border and did that to my family or my people, I'd be pretty PO'd about it myself.
PO'd enough to shoot them yourselves when they wave a white flag.
Well, Michael, that's an interesting thing because I think now, I was going to talk about this a couple of weeks ago, and for some reason, it slipped my mind. But let me see if I can dig it up because I'm just wondering if there's something more to it. Yes, Captagon. Have you heard of Captagon?
I have not.
Captagon is a drug that seems to be popular in the Middle East. It appears to be a speed-like substance,
Mhm.
and it is it was without a doubt used by the Hamas terrorists that came over the border in Israel. Now, it wouldn't, again, nobody's really talking about this. I haven't heard anything about this. But,
It makes warriors more fierce.
well, yeah, it makes, I mean, well, speed makes you crazy.
Yep.
I mean, you lose how much of your reasoning when you do speed, when you do ups.
And everything happens so fast.
And everything happens. So, I mean, it's not entirely out of the realm of the possibility that the Israelis are using the same drug.
Keep their troops awake and alert.
Keep the troops awake, keep them on guard, keep them pumped up. So, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if they drug tested these soldiers and found out that they were using Captagon. I guess this stuff was developed by ISIS.
Not a great endorsement.
It gives the drug gives people, it enhances their performance and lessens inhibitions.
So it's like a party drug, a rave drug for wartime.
Seems to be. if you read some of the Israeli press, there's a lot of stuff in the Israeli press. It's also how they're funding uh, some of this stuff. Not the Israelis, but the Arab world seems to really be into this drug. So
Does the
I don't
prophet say it's
know.
okay to take it? Because the prophet won't allow you to have a martini. Can you have Captagon?
I don't know. I don't know. Tramadol is another drug that's a
Painkiller.
enhancer, and I guess the stuff is pretty cheap and pretty easy to make.
Hmm.
So they can get it to the troops or anybody with a gun and say, "Here you go, go out and do your business." And there's no,
Go out and waste somebody.
yeah, there's no resistance. There's no feeling bad about it,
And there's no downside to this type of drug. You're just happy and alert at all times.
and you're ready to shoot the first person you run into. So that is something else that we have to think about and worry about a little bit.
Well, all I'm going to think about is the cough that I have for the rest of the day and hope that it leaves me by tomorrow. And Vinny, on that note, I'm going to say adios to you. Get dressed,
All
go to
right,
your appointment, and have a Merry Christmas, Vinny. I know
Mikey.
I'm a little behind on the Christmas stuff this year because I haven't been feeling well, but we're going to catch up and have a great Christmas season in spite of it. You're coming to California. I can't tell you how happy that makes me. Yeah, spend time
Yeah,
with your sister. That's good.
yeah. It's I go down there every Christmas that I can, and it's just great to be. I'm just so lucky that I have family like you are, that we have family to spend Christmas with. So, are we going to do a show Wednesday, or we'll see how you feel?
We'll see how I feel, but let's let's say yes.
All right, let's get ready to do a show Wednesday. We probably won't have one Friday, and Monday is Christmas, so we won't have one then either.
No,
Unless you want to show me your presents.
I don't need anything, so I hope I don't get something that ostentatious.
That's the thing that sucks about being of the age that we are,
What do you
is
need?
there's really not a lot that we need.
Nope.
As a matter of fact, I got stuff that I'm going to give away to people.
There you
You
go.
know,
Good for you.
too much stuff. I don't need stuff anymore. I need love. I need people around me that love me and care about me. That's Christmas to me now. It's not about the presents anymore.
Exactly.
It's just about your love and your companionship, which Mikey, I think we give each other every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning, pal.
Undoubtedly. I wouldn't be able to live without it.
See you on Wednesday if the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. You take care of yourself, Michael.
I'll get better. It's just a damn cough.
All right. Peace, love, cough syrup, and Manischewitz, baby.
Yeah, hold the Manischewitz. I'll take the cough syrup.
All right, man. Take care of yourself. There he goes, Michael Knight here. Listen, and we just want to thank you all for listening and wishing you a Merry Christmas. I know it's a little bit of a shorter show today, but Michael's not feeling good, and so we will convene here hopefully on Wednesday morning. Thank you so much for listening to our shows. Hi to everybody in Staten Island. We love you, and we will talk to you on Wednesday. Bye bye now.